Hello dear Sheila, dear Lou. I started a few days I got to search the internet for killed journalists and authors. Got the idea, because a short time ago, I read a very new book from Joseph Pullman, English language, and afterwards Michael Morris, German language, about the so-called Goldware and our Western currency system only living in printed debts, paper. Now one day ago I landed the name Neil Keenan, alive still. Hurried over the start website of his group, started to watch a little bit YouTube with a video about that ambassador talking about the dragon family. Paradoxman 316 here in YouTube seems to have made some interviews with this ambassador since 2-3 weeks ago. Got very tired after midnight and was very angry about myself to understand only half of it. I am German, my English is not too bad, but not so isn't, as I saw. Then, awakening this morning breakfast beside I started durstly at YouTube and the name Benjamin Fulford jumped into my eyes. A little bit listening, but the latest videos only a painting, no living picture, so you never even know, was it himself talking? As far as I understood he was a long time ago already looking for information about those Western families like Rockefeller etc., warning about their intention to rule the world and kill parts of the population etc. Then this dragon family sended some contact persons to him. He should decide for which side he wants to work in the future. They partly didn't do that very nice. But somehow he decided to sing their song from then on? Because they have the better vision of the future of the planet. So about Stephen Jay I read the first these lines here in the comments. Still years ago I got a DVD about interviews with the still living people of the Montauk Project. And on the DVD was a person, name? That talked about in the underground living subjects that tried to kill the US people who themselves wanted to build themselves underground towns, what the US still did with success. The subjects they met, population from other planets, hiding in the earth. The man talking there on the DVD still was really afraid about these ETS killing his colleagues. Must look what Stephen Jay is talking about. I know, China has billions of dollar debts bonds, from the last decades of the printed stuff of the US Fed, and lots of physical gold. But as it is openly talked about, that could ruin the world's economy and our currency system. But the Chinese officials, present government, will not do that because they need the Western world to buy their products. Their problems about pollution and poison in the earth and housing bubble in the moment are so severe that they need the export trade. Compared with the number their own population, that US gold and billion-dollar bonds, worthless paper, that they now own, is near enough, compared with their yearly economy products to keep them going, without selling to the Western countries. So they buy EU companies, try to get foot as much as possible in Africa and everywhere, even a lot in USA. So what is all about this new monetary system and wealth for the poor in the future? Those YouTube videos alone from the last month here, where I naturally could see only a few minutes since yesterday. It is known already over a decade of years through a lot of books. Those few US families, with roots in Germany and GB, owning the Fed and are behind most of the Western state banks, want to rule the earth, preferred with less population to feed. So now it seems, already since years from the east, the dragon family, or how they call themselves, started an underground war, promising the wonderful future to the people who joined there. They say there are already millions of leading people, Eastern sworn, spread over the earth, in the world. Those US Bilderbergs etc. families have only few thousand heads they really trust. And what should we normal people do? Wait until they kill us, with electronic weapons. They have on both sides already since decades. Audio, brain to computer or microphone and back. As even a dialogue, weapons, body hurting, immune system destroying, and even killing ray weapons. Chemtrails. Medicines reducing the intelligence, starting with all the children in the world. Tetanus injections making women unable to get any children, tested on millions in Africa already. And the ETS from other planets, will save us. With their invasion and their new world order. So I go on with my normal life. Try still to get a little bit money to be able to live and eat and pay rent. Through our corrupt system. TV with love and adventure, pictures once in a while. Seldom TV news, each day a little bit he leans in the internet. And naturally from now on, more YouTube information. What they plan for us. Something's from all that. Benjamin Fulford. Dave Schmidt, Neil Keenan, also from the East, must be true. They don't do nothing when watching the West. Have a wonderful life. Don't get afraid, try your best to stay honest in this corrupt world. And tell the truth. Most of the people around you will think you are insane when you want to talk about all that with them. They have no opinion at all. Read and listen to the mainstream press in Germany now. NSA spying on all and following their internet activity is allowed now to talk about open, because they bring it. Bipolar spy, selling government papers to the NSA. Now arrested since 2 days, naturally nobody, also not the government, can do anything against it. The NSA is sitting in the middle of our country in a hidden area spying on all the calls. And most of the big internet servers are in the USA. Even German-to-German emails go over the Atlantic and USA. The USA helped us to become that relative stable country after World War II. Not only the German people were busy and working day and night to have that success, but we are still since then a little satellite. So what is better? To be a satellite of the West or the East? Perhaps we still can decide a little bit with our elections. The German politicians, I believe, are not all corrupt. In the EU Parliament for sure lots are paid through the 10,000 of lobbyists chasing them. Whether that as one of the last examples that a commission made a law against vaping and selling cheap basic liquids to mix yourself. You must buy small 10 milliliters, expensive about 4 times or more, bottles, that vaping is now as expensive as smoking. Hallelujah for the tobacco industry. The total EU Parliament voted at first, no change for the vaping, helps people to get away from smoking even with a little bit nicotine in it. Smokers jump stairs again after vaping 2-3 weeks, but naturally no long-term studies. Vaping is perhaps 8 or a little bit more years only known. Yes, and a few commissioners turned the vote of the Parliament down and made that law. Think the Parliament had even to vote again intercesting that change of mind. That is only a small example how we are ruled through the EU. Now allowing gen food for all the animals we eat. The normal non-gen food industry is going bankrupt, because nobody is buying their product anymore. 1C more expensive the food for the life of a chicken. As Greenpeace calculated, that law was a preparation for the new US trade law with the EU. Our poor children,